What I'm about to ask you, you're not going to say is the beauty of what we do, because I know you're sick of the question. Does Jon Jones not want to fight, or does Jon Jones just not want to fight Tom Aspinall?
Listen, Jon Jones has been an interesting human being to deal with since the day he got here. But I will say this about him. You would never hear me out, talking about he's the GOAT and he's the this and he's the that if Jon Jones didn't want to fight people.
The problem with the UFC isn't necessarily the interim belts themselves. It's a significant amount of other issues that have been stockpiling on themselves for a very, very long time. And the UFC for a while now has been at this crossroads where it can't decide if it wants to develop truly amazing fighters who they make into stars, or if they just want to develop the most popular fighters and get the best potential matchups for business. And you take with what's going on right now with Jon Jones and the heavyweight and light heavyweight division, how he's holding up two divisions and the issues that are going on. It's a mess for the UFC, and there's no way that it's a good look. And I have long since said that not all publicity is good publicity. Look, Jon Jones won the heavyweight championship belt in March of 2023 because of an alleged injury. Tom Aspinall became the interim champion in November of 2023. Tom Aspinall has been the interim champion for the heavyweight division for now 19 months and 1 week and 587 days and counting if you really want to break it down. By the way, Jon Jones has had exactly one fight since then. Now, it was Stipe Miocic, which hell of a fight, and he won. But the point of what I'm saying is one fight in over 2 years, and you're still holding up the heavyweight class. You can't decide if you want to retire or not, which, look, Jon Jones has earned some leeway, okay? I'm not going to say that he hasn't. He's earned some right to say, look, it's my career. I'm at this point right now where I don't know what I want, but I'll let you know when I do. But there's a bigger problem here that's mounting, and that's, number one, Jon Jones is saying that the question about what it's going to take for him to fight Aspinall is, quote, wild. And not only is he calling that question wild, but he's telling Tom Aspinall to start jawing with guys his own age. So really it sounds like pick on somebody your own size, which is actually really wild coming from Jon Jones. And the UFC, with their development of athletes and stars and trying to figure all this out and navigate all these pay-per-views and why they're not being successful outside of a couple of really big stars in the UFC for the most part, while they're trying to navigate all that, you have the stars over here understanding the power that they have, and they've been given way too much control. And if you ask me, it all started with Conor McGregor. He was a 2-division champion, and instead of making him defend a belt, he said, yeah, sure, go fight Mayweather. It's cool. I'll back you. I'll be there the whole time, as a matter of fact, promoting you all the way. But then when the honeymoon phase was over and the smoke all cleared and everything died down, it was, dude, are you going to defend a belt or not? Am I going to have to strip you? What's going on here? Then you end up years later with this exact same situation. I mean, Jon Jones and Conor McGregor mirror each other in so many ways, it's not even funny. And the thing about it is even back in 2017, the UFC was being questioned about this stuff. Senator Mullen, who, by the way, is 5-0 as an MMA fighter, and he's also in the Oklahoma Wrestling Hall of Fame, was questioning the UFC about their ranking system and the matchups they were putting together specifically for championships. Oh, well, it's the fight that the fans want to see, and they had fought before, and so that makes it legitimate. Does it, though? You've got people that are 1 through 10 that are alleged top 10 contenders. Why can't they fight? Why can't they go? What's going on here? So when you're putting together the most popular fight choice, you're not necessarily putting together the best fight choice, the real fight choice. And what's happening is when you're doing that, you are actually obstructing the real purpose of an athlete, and that is to be the best at their game and not the most popular. The fact of the matter is, if you've got 1 through 10 just sitting around and waiting, then you're doing a disservice to your fans and to your fighters. And you should feel scammed at that point. And while I have no issue with fighters taking control over their own careers, at some point, Dana's got to take control of the situation and go, here's the ultimatum. Because to me, Tom Aspinall should absolutely feel scammed right now. Tom Aspinall is claiming he's already said, look, I think Jones is retired anyways, and I got another fight that I've got a date that I want to make another fight happen anyway. Like, I'm good on that. I've already cleared all this. Doesn't that sound familiar with a similar situation we just dealt with McGregor? At some point, Dana's got to get control of this because it's an ugly nightmare right now what's going on in the UFC. And Jones understands that by not defending, he can't lose. And if he can't lose and he just gives his championship up, then he's well aware that he's protecting his legacy at that point because somebody's going to go, great, man, you're an awesome champion, but you didn't beat Jon Jones and you're not Jon Jones. And he's well aware of that, and he needs to stop pretending like he doesn't know. So if anybody wants to present the argument that Jon Jones is protecting his own legacy, it's not exactly invalid. Now, me personally, I think there's a couple of quick and easy resolutions to this problem. Number one, I think it's very clear that you don't allow multiple weight class champions anymore. McGregor deliberately held up 2 divisions. And 2 people have put in the training, the time, the blood, the sweat, the tears. They've been kicked in the face for practice. They've been kicked in the face for in the octagon. They've paid their dues. They're waiting. It's their time and their opportunity. Amanda Nunes did it. Look, it's a great feat, but Amanda Nunes did it, defended one, and then she retired. Now, obviously, she's coming out. But regardless, the point is, she's not going to defend 2 belts in one night. This isn't the WWE. We're not going to have a double main event. Okay? So that's number one. You need to get rid of that. Fighters have to decide what weight class they're going to be in and try and succeed there. If you can't be a champion in one weight class, sure, move around. But the minute you're a champion in a weight class, you defend until you either can't defend anymore because you're retiring or you get beat. Which brings up my next point, and that is we shouldn't be having these 2 and 3 fight contracts with fighters. We shouldn't be having pre-made deals already, and specifically in MMA, we really don't need fighters who lose a championship coming back for their next fight to try and fight for a championship. I am a huge Ronda Rousey supporter, but even I thought that after she lost to Holly Holm, why doesn't she fight 2 or 3 fights against, at the bare minimum, some top 10 contenders, maybe even top 5, and prove that she should be back in contention for a championship? To me, you do that, then okay, great, I'll give you your shot. But otherwise, we're not doing that. And especially in boxing, to me, it's such a bad luck. Because again, you have people that are waiting, but they can't get their shot because they're waiting on you 2 up there to finish your trilogy. And that's just, to me, that's never set well. And I got nothing against making money, but I definitely have things against doing things wrong against fighters who are putting in the time the same as everybody else. They should get their shot. My next thing is, and I mean this, no more interim championship belts. They don't make sense. They're unnecessary. And if you want to call somebody a paper champion, you wonder why Aspenol is getting it from some of the fans the way that he is right now. It's because he himself is carrying that interim championship belt that literally means nothing. It's a paperweight, Brody. That's what that interim championship belt represents. A glorified paperweight. He's had, 1 fight since then as well? because he's been waiting around for Jon Jones. What's he going to do? And I think everybody figured after the Stipe fight that, okay, fine, he's fought Miocic. Now he's going to come and he's going to fight me. And you still have Dana White preaching on the Jim Rome show, oh, we're going to give it a couple weeks. Really? How much more time do you need? Which brings me to my final thing. If you don't defend after a while, you're stripped. Unless there is some sort of incredibly extenuating circumstance that shows why you should not be defending, then X amount of time. I like 8 months to about 12 months because obviously, you get into a brutal fight. They might make you sit out for 3 months or 6 months or whatever the case may be. But at the bare minimum, if you don't set something up within at least 8 to 12 months, bro, you're forking that thing over. We're not going to have everybody sitting around waiting on you to make decisions. We want you to defend that belt. It's a prideful thing, and within our organization, it still means something to carry that thing around. And all interim champions need to either hurry up and be unified immediately, or they just need to have their titles taken away from them. You can't tell me that fans look and they can't wait to pay $125 for an interim championship fight. That's just insane. And then how much more for a ticket, travel, and hotel fees and all the other stuff that fans are paying. And then what it costs to be a UFC fan to begin with. You got to have the subscription to ESPN. Then you got to have UFC Fight Pass for a lot of stuff. Then on top of that, you're paying for the pay-per-views every other month or every other week or whatever the case. Like, it's insanity. It's crazy to be a UFC fan. It's an insane amount of money. Put your foot down. It's real easy to just put your foot down. Again, I am fully in support of athletes creating their own wealth. I am fully in support of athletes creating their own career. But just because you can do what you want to with your career doesn't mean that there's not a heavy risk that comes with that. Waiting till he gets the itch again. What does that mean? You're going to wake up one day, bro, a year from now and take a fight? It's just not how this works. Taking time away is one thing. When you've been fighting, every 6 to 8 months for 5, 6, 7 years, that's one thing. Going away for a year and saying, look, I just need a break. I need a break from the media. I need a break from my body. I need a break from everything. I need to spend time with my family, whatever it is. That's one thing. But just waiting for the itch, that's another thing. And it's not wild to ask you about whether or not, about what it's going to take for you to fight Aspinall. It's just not. It's wild to be that upset about it that you literally walk away from an interview. All right, everybody. I am Drew Duncan. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan Radio. I'm wherever you listen in to podcasts. Take your device to play the Drew Duncan Sports Show, YouTube and TikTok, VRL, The Real Drew Duncan. Everybody stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful rest of your night and or day.